Okay. I hope you guys can hear me. Um, Let me know if you can hear me or not. I'll switch scenes here in a second. I know there's a little bit of a delay sometimes, so I'm gonna wait for that to kick in. Hey, Sim, again, you can hear me. Okay, cool. Terry, what's up? Welcome in, guys. Sorry I'm late. I had to. My keyboard crapped on me at the last second, so I had to like plug in a spare keyboard I had. So, um, first of all, this video is not gonna be monetized. It'd be. I just feel like it'd be in poor taste if I did so. So, and yeah, it's been a long time since I've worn this. This is kind of part of the topic of today's conversation. Uh, it's been shoot, I can't remember the last time I wore this. It's been at. I want to say I don't think I wore it at all in 2017 or 2018. I know I haven't worn it since I sold my suit, which was back in 2018. So this must have been at least 6 years since I've worn this. I'm surprised it still fits because I've put on a little bit of weight. Trenton, how's it going, man? So, I don't even know where to start personally. Let me close this down too. I mean, how do you start stuff like this? I guess at the beginning is usually a good spot. I was glad I didn't have to actually mess with the green screen because this still shows up. Um, as you guys have kind of seen by the title of this stream, the title of this video, and if you haven't, seen the news already, Jason David Frank, the original Green Ranger and White Ranger, has passed away. Um, Everybody that's just now coming in, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Welcome in. Um, so he passed away. Um, they haven't confirmed the cause yet, but of course you've heard the rumors. I can't really mention them on stream because of TOS. Um, when I first heard the news, I was numb to it. You know, I wasn't sure how I was, but everybody grieves in different ways. And while I didn't know him personally, I have fortunately have had the opportunity to meet him a couple different times. You may have seen anybody that's followed me on Twitter, Instagram. You may have kind of seen like the little tribute I share with the photos, which I'll be sharing some more of that stuff here today. Um, I would say last night it started hitting me a little bit hard, and this morning. And I really don't get choked up by a lot of any kind of celebrity deaths. But and this one in particular, like the last one that really hit me the most was, when Chester Bennington passed away about 6 years ago as well. And that one hurt a lot because Linkin Park's music was very prominent during my middle school years. The early 2000s, and that music helped me get through a lot of middle school and high school because you might have heard me talk about before. I was not a fan. I'm still not a fan of those years. And for those of you from a younger generation, I'm a little bit older. I was born in 1990, so I'm 32 years old. Some of you guys that might not understand why this is affecting a lot of people. Power Rangers was Cobra Kai before there was Cobra Kai, if that makes sense. Obviously, The Karate Kid came out in 1984. And by the time Power Rangers debuted, they had 3 movies in and a cartoon series. But Power Rangers was unprecedented and something different that nobody had really seen before up until that point. It was adapted from the Sentai series Zero Ranger. And that was the first show to be adapted into Power Rangers in the U.S. And nobody had seen anything like that before at the time. Watching it back now, especially watching the original series, it's very made for kids, very campy and stuff. But, you had people on the show, Jason included, that were legitimate martial artists, So it looked, aside from the edits and stuff that they did, legit martial artists. That was like a weekly episodic Karate Kid in a way, if that somewhat makes sense. That was also, for those of you that don't know, I have an older sister and a younger brother. That was one of the few things that, because there was such a big age gap between me, or there is still, between me and my sister. My sister was 13 at the time the show came out. I was 5, 3. Well, no, sorry, I was 3 years old, but I watched it, a lot as a 5-year-old. That was one of the few things we actually bonded over was Power Rangers, and so yeah, and as you may well have seen by now, a lot of kids growing up wanted to be Tommy. I wanted to be Tommy. So, and obviously Jason David Frank was a lot older than I was, but another reason why this death hits so hard is it's like losing an older brother, like a cool older brother that you've always wanted to hang out with, and a familiar face. And for those of you guys who may not have never met Jason David Frank, in the convention scene, he was always there for his fans. And I have a couple stories I'll share about him as well. But like he was always there for his fans. Like anybody else, some people may have had mixed receptions or heard mixed stories about him, but my personal interactions with him, the 2 interactions I've had with him, really indicated what kind of person he was to me. And it's funny too because for those of you guys also that didn't know a lot about my life before I which I accidentally became a YouTuber, I was really into the Ranger cosplay scene for a while. That's actually how I grew my following, because I was able to cosplay as, the Green Ranger. I made a lot of friends during that time, some that I still hold dear to this day, and that ongoing 8-year friendships. So that's why it's a little bit more personal to me as well, because it's like Jason David Frank was that generation's Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso from Cobra Kai. Like that's probably like the best that I could put towards that. It's like losing, if we were to knock on wood, man. Like if we were to lost them. That's how big this is. That's how big this death is affecting everybody. Like I think that's the best analogy I could put it. It's like losing Ralph Macchio or William Zabka. That's why it has affected people so much. And what's funny too is that Tommy Oliver was, the Green Ranger was intended to be a one-off character, but because his popularity was just so big and so larger than life, they brought him back. And that's why he had became a long-running staple, from Mighty Morphin to Power Rangers Zeo to Power Rangers Turbo. Excuse me, then came back for Dino Fury. I forgive me if I said the wrong show, but I know it's one of those. I think it's Dino Fury. And then he made guest appearances. So he was a staple. He was a staple of the franchise, and is the only actor to have been, I believe, in 250 episodes. Across when he was in Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Power Rangers Turbo, and then to come back for Dino Fury, then also make appearances like in Super Mega Force. And I believe the last one was Super Ninja Steel. I could be wrong. I'm really only familiar with the first few the first few shows that I grew up with. So that's why it's hit a lot of people. Not on top of that, of course, him always being at conventions, and and he was super active on social media. Yeah, like that's how big this is. He's gonna be missed by a lot of people. So what I'd like to do today is I would like to share not only my experiences with JDF, but I would also like to share my time in the Ranger cosplay community, because as much as Cobra Kai is part of my strong roots, so is Power Rangers. So yeah, I would like to share that journey with you guys. I have some pictures I picked out, and I can kind of, and it'll seem like that, we're talking about my cosplay, but we're not. It's like I wouldn't have cosplayed these things if it wasn't for JDF. I wouldn't have met all these people if it wasn't for JDF. In a way, I would not have been a YouTuber if it wasn't for JDF. It's funny how one thing always leads to another, as they say. And this was part of, this part of mine. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. I'm just gonna. That's about as basic as I can put it. So I'm gonna put some pictures on screen, and I'm also gonna kind of talk about the stories and things like that. Let me catch up with chat real quick. I'm gonna be kind of long-winded today, so I'm sorry if I'm not like paying attention to chat right away. But love the Ninjetti suit. Thank you, Rodney. I appreciate that. Strike First, what's going on, man? Rest in peace, JDF. His death has been affecting a lot of people. My friend is a big fan of his. Met him at the con in Utah. Yeah. It's crazy. Charles, welcome in. Big fan as a kid in the T90s. Same. Rest in peace, Jason. Totally agree. Was really nothing like I'd ever seen before. The Martial Fantastic 2, JDF was the best. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, like they were, JDF especially. JDF went on to teach martial arts too. I know a few of my friends are also torn up about him because they actually were able to have studied under him as martial arts students. So, okay, so I'm gonna have to. My pictures are kind of out of order, but I'm gonna try to start from the beginning that I know. For the most part. So that would take us to 2014. Technically Halloween 2013. But 2014. For those of you who have ever seen the very first Power Rangers movie. I don't know how to. I'm gonna keep talking while I try to do this. I'm gonna name this slideshow. The very first Power Rangers movie, or if you've seen Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3, the Rangers would have, or the Rangers were able to also, this is not working. I'm gonna have to figure this out. They were, what I'm cosplaying as is called a Ninjetti. It's like a Ninja Ranger, basically. Sorry, I'm trying to capture this. Man, OBS is so crazy sometimes. So, it was featured as a plotline prominently in the movie. By that time, though, both in season 3 and also in the movie itself, he was already the White Ranger. So what I'm wearing, which I'll kind of talk about how I got this cosplay. What I'm wearing is also a what if costume, basically, if he was still the Green Ranger. Maybe it's game capture is what I have to do. Sorry, guys. I was at work and I had pretty like capture specific window. Hopefully this is it. Nope. Okay. We're just gonna have to do a full screen capture, I guess. So back in 2013, I had got my first version of the suit I'm wearing now, basically for Christmas, or not Christmas, for Halloween. Yep, that's not it. This is not working. Holy crap, man. Display 2. There we go. Okay, now we got this working. So I just gotta do this. Okay. It's about as good as we're about to get. I'm also... Where's my webcam? Decrease myself here a little bit so I can kind of talk more about these pictures. So this was the first version of the suit, basically what I'm wearing now that I got. So I got it for Halloween 2013, and it was kind of a hit. It was cool. For those of you guys who have been aware, like, you know, and I've talked about in my Sam video essays, I was in an abusive relationship for the good chunk of my late teens or my early 20s, and I got out of that at the end of 2012 and going into 2013. So I was not able to enjoy a lot of things that I secretly liked, like video games and wrestling and things like that. So this was a way to kind of reconnect with my childhood, was to get this thing, because I was a huge Power Rangers fan. So this picture is from a convention called A-Kon in 2014. It's the largest running anime convention in the U.S., and I wore it for the first time, and it was a hit. My friend here was a really legit Vegeta, so this was kind of like one of those like best, what if dream matches, as we've seen like fan art and whatnot. So, yeah. So this next picture, I thought I would have not had a blurry one and whatnot. This is the Anatole. Yes. Cycle, welcome in. Good version of your Ranger. Thank you. So this is when I met Walter Jones, who is the original Black Ranger. So this part of my life was about to be a big turning point. So I'm originally from, you guys may have known, I'm originally from Victoria, Texas. The same place Stone Cold Steve Austin's from. So this was the second Comic-Con that they had. And so Walter, David Yost, which was the original Blue Ranger, and Steve Cardenas, who was the second Red Ranger, were all coming in. And that kind of like helped spur my love for Power Rangers even more, because I had that cosplay and whatnot. So it was... it was cool to see these guys. I'm trying to make sure I'm not going out of order here. So I was a little nervous to wear my cosplay, but the next day I ended up wearing it, as you can see. Full hood and stuff and everything. So it was pretty cool. It was dope. I had a lot of fun. One of the best weekends I had in a long, long time. So yeah, this was early 2015. And this convention also marked me, my quest to meet all the Rangers. So that was JDF included. And of course, JDF was like at the top of my, top of my list. Fortunately, I have been able to meet everybody that was in season. That's who I forgot to add. The picture was Cats. I might actually be able to do that real quick. I was fortunate enough to meet everybody but, Trini, rest in peace. She passed away in 2001. But I was able to meet everybody from season 1 through season 3, which was really, really cool. I got to remember what the name of this convention was where I met. Here it is. Throw a couple other pictures in here as well. I know I have that picture somewhere. Here it is. Okay. Just give me a second, guys. I'm going to share this to my computer, then also download it. That story will come up here at a later time and whatnot. So anyway, I had, as you guys saw, I met Walter. Got my picture with him. Is this sending? Just gonna take a second. So while that's in here, I'll kind of just run through some other stuff. Let me pull chat back up here. Thank you, Shinart JD. I've met him twice and trained with him for a brief time. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I was actually talking about how he became a martial arts teacher. So that's awesome, dude. Awesome. Yeah, it was a good time. So, there's no volume. So, this was really cool. I was glad we were actually able to get this on film. So obviously, growing up in the '90s, I was a big fan of, like I said, Power Rangers. I was also a big fan of the games, specifically the first Super Nintendo game. So I had brought my portable Super Nintendo with me, and I had the game. And I was like, "Hey, Walter, would you ever get a chance to play this when it came out?" And he was like, "No." So yeah, he was able to play this. We actually got footage of him. We got footage of him playing, which was pretty cool. And he was actually playing as himself. So, well, that's kind of loud. Sorry, let me turn that down a little bit. History going down here. Walter Jones actually playing my Superboy.
I'm playing Zach. It's more for time.
He's not really fair. He knows all the moves.
So yeah, that was definitely a cool moment. I was actually glad to have got that on film, and that happened 7 years ago. He was a great teacher. I imagine. I had a friend that trained with him too. She said he was a great teacher. Well, my friend's a she. She said he was a great teacher. So yeah, that was cool because I was able to get pictures with them. So that was like my whole thing was to get. So Walter is the only, which if he ever comes to Texas again, I'll try to meet him again. He's the only picture I don't have with somebody where we're morphing side by side, which is what I was doing with each ranger. So let me go next. So here's me and David Yost. He was at the same convention. We were able to get this together. So yeah, this it's so surreal, especially if you're not used to, like, if you haven't, like, this was really one of the first few times I started meeting celebrities at conventions and whatnot. And it was another reason why I would go to Comic-Cons and stuff. It was nerve-wracking to say the least to, meet these guys you watched growing up on TV that were real life superheroes. So yeah, it was cool to meet them. Thankfully, as time went on, the more I met, the less nervous I got. But you can kind of tell in some of these pictures, I was pretty nervous. So, and there's me and Steve Cardenas, who was Rocky, the second Red Ranger. So was able to get a picture with him too, and found out he's a gamer as well. Grew up playing like a lot of Punch Out. Apparently, he played a lot of Mario and Mega Man and stuff. And it was cool because he actually came back a couple years later. And he and I were both guests at the same convention, so that was kind of a becoming full circle thing. So it was really cool, man. It was really dope. So look cool, always great to connect with someone you look up to. Yes, definitely. Enter the cosplay convention scene later in life. Also nice. Yeah, I've been in it for on and off for about 10 years. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. So the next couple pictures are kind of like also another turning point of what's kind of led to me getting this costume, and then also my quest to meet JDF. So this is a picture. Well, first it's me holding the dagger completely wrong. This is a picture of me and my friend Joe. Anybody that's has seen me on my cosplay on my Instagram before. Sorry, I'm downloading these other pictures. So get those moved over here. Anybody that has seen me cosplay over my Instagram before, you might have seen him as Ken when I've done Ryu. So he did that with me, and obviously he's done Ranger stuff with me. I met him and his wife Abby at another convention in San Antonio. Where we connected, and he actually was wearing his own version of this, which is what I'm currently wearing now. And so we connected, and I was fortunate enough to meet him again. Lifelong friends. The reason I bring up their importance is because if it wasn't for them, I would have never been able to accomplish my dream of actually cosplaying the Green Ranger. Becoming my own, my childhood heroes, or wearing my childhood heroes costume rather. So if it wasn't for them, I would also not have gone to like many of these other conventions and things like that. So they're dear friends to me this day. me and Joe also had, which I got another story to talk about him too, which is pretty cool. Um, we were definitely talking about how much he was an influence on both of us, and it kind of like I had mentioned at the start of the stream. It was like both of us losing a big brother. That's how because, but you can see here we were both big Green Ranger fans. So, yeah, Joe had helped me a lot with here like in the getting into the Ranger scene and stuff like that, and they were able to have helped me with getting like more cosplay situated. Let me catch up on some comments here. One of the greatest martial artists ever to live. He was truly missed. I agree. Miles, welcome in. Never got a chance to meet him. I'm sorry to hear that. Grew up watching him. Nice. Yeah. So Terry, if you ever get a chance to, which I recommend anybody who has been a fan of Power Rangers to also watch the Japanese counterpart. The franchise over there is called Super Sentai, and as Shin was saying, they started in the 70s. So as you can see, the costume designs here, they were adapted directly from, I forgot what number it is in the Sentai. I want to say it's 13th or 14th. I could be wrong. Somebody will have to, can check that for me. But excuse me, the show was called Zyu Ranger, so ZYU Ranger, and that's what Mighty Morphin adapted it from a year after it came out, basically. So. Z Ranger is maybe something I'll also cover in a video essay later on in the channel, because that itself, the Sentai are very different. They're it's almost like watching a live action anime, if that makes sense, but definitely worth checking out, especially because a lot of them are subtitled. So, huge Super Sentai Kamen Rider fan, nice. Yeah, I've been slowly getting more into Super Sentai just because it's always nice to see how like the original material has, changed and stuff over time. So anyway, yeah, this is me and my friend Joe. We had a lot of fun here at this convention, and so what's really cool, I'm going to zoom in here as much as it'll let me. So Joe here is using my custom morpher. I actually won in a contest, which I still have that morpher here, and I'll show that here on screen later, like here on stream. So like the movie morphers were like kind of a limited run that they had. So this one actually lights up. I don't know if it still lights up, but it lights up custom white and green lights. It's supposed to be like kind of like a duality custom morpher. As you see, Tommy's original morpher was the gold plated with the red, the red background. And of course, this power coin. So, okay, yeah, this is where it starts to get out of order. So that was also in 2015. About a month later, I think. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was a month later because it was like on Memorial. It was on Memorial weekend. It was a pretty rough patch in my life. I left a roommate situation basically, and things didn't work out. So 16th. Okay, thank you. So I was living on my own. It was really tough because I had a lot of bills I was paying. That I was trying to catch up on, and so like I was, it was a rough time. Like I was grocery shopping at the Dollar Tree, basically. That's how rough it was. With whatever little money I could get, I would put towards cosplay because that was like the one thing that was like an escape for me. Specifically, cosplaying as Power Rangers. So even though they no longer make them now, Joe and Abby made which is what I'm wearing now, this costume for me, custom. As you can see, very good quality. This is made of, I don't have the bracers on just because it would be kind of a little, the thing is warm. It's made of gabardine, so it's not very breathable fabric, but it is very high quality, as you can see. So this I should even have a mask and a hood. I just don't have the hood on right now, but this is the hood basically. We were able to they were able to do this and also help me put my first Green Ranger suit together. Not only that was the convention where, as you can see here, I met Zordon. Really, really cool guy. Really sweet. You ever get a chance to meet him. He's super, super cool. David was the was the likeness for Zordon for the first 3 seasons, and also the voice of Zordon for the first season. So it's really, really cool. Super sweet. One of the best experiences I had meeting a Ranger celebrity. So, okay, so now I have to hop out of here. So that brings me to the first time I met JDF at a convention called Space City Comic Con. Dude, what is with me and blurry photos? Anyway, this is me and Abby, who I mentioned before, Joe's wife. We were getting ready to meet Jason David Frank, and this was like right before that. Right before that. So, as you can see, she made herself a white Ninjetti. Not only that, another friend of mine, Kelly, Abby made a pink one for her as well. So this was like really cool. And so this was all 3 of us getting ready. See the one picture that's not blurry. Getting ready to meet Jason David Frank. JDF also had ambassadors like in different states and different parts of the world, which is called Team JDF. Kelly was an ambassador for him, so Kelly was really cool too. So this was kind of a cool picture. I think I'll have to also show another picture we took later on. So as you can see, a lot of it was really cool, like living out this, like I watched the Power Rangers movie over and over as a kid. So to have actually not only meet your celebrities, but to also dress up in a costume like from the movie, it was something else. And I can't thank Abby and Joe enough for that, for helping that dream of mine, to come true. So, here it is. The first time I ever met Jason. So what was really cool is right before we took this photo, they had us come off to the side and like, Jason's like, hey, Jason said he'll come, come take a picture with all you guys real quick. They pulled us out of line because we were in line, meeting him. Like, hey, just, come out real quick and we'll, he'll take a picture with you guys real quick. And, you can tell I'm like so nervous, man. Cause like, this is like the guy I looked up to like ever since I was a kid, in regards to Power Rangers. So here's Joe, Abby, my other friend Rachel, and Kelly. And here's him using my morpher. So that was, I still have that morpher too, which I'll show here later on. This was really, really, it was, oh man, this moment had starstruck. So not only that, when we took pictures off to the side real quick, which thanks, John. I don't know if he's in here, but thanks for taking this picture. He's one of my admins, a longtime buddy. Also one of my handlers for the longest time, while I was doing, Green Ranger stuff too. So, anyway, right after this, JDF comes out, like, because we were kind of behind his booth. JDF comes out like, hey guys, like, we're going to give you like 30 seconds to take pictures of us. So we're all just there posing with him, and people are snapping shots of us. It was dope. Like, that's all I can say. I wish I had pictures from the other angle where people were like taking pictures of us in the crowd. Yeah, it was mesmerizing, man. It was cool. I've never seen like so much like cameras flash before my eyes. Like it not only that, but just being able to stand next to Tommy was cool. It was like, that's like, I can't put into words how much that meant to me. I was starstruck after this, like, so much that I called Joe and Abby and I thanked them. I was like, hey man, that was dope. Like, I appreciate what you guys have done for me, because like I'd never thought in a million years that moment would happen right there. So yeah, that was so dope. And speaking of that, before I move on to I did go out of order here. I got some more pictures I got to go back to. It was kind of like a photo we took also off to the side, which was really, really cool. That was after we met him. So we kind of like did like a quick like ninjetti whatnot. So awesome, guys. Like, thank you. Yeah, it was. Oh man, like that was just my first interaction. And what's funny too is like I hated John for this at the time too, because there was a running joke, which I think I might have. Yeah, I do have a picture of me in that costume. And you guys might be able to see it without the glasses. A lot of people said I looked like Johnny Young Bosch, which is the second Black Ranger. And freaking John goes, hey, Jason, doesn't he look like? Oh, hold on, I gotta put this back on. Freaking John goes, hey, Jason, doesn't he look like Johnny? And Jason like stares at me for like a solid 5 seconds. He's like, yeah, he does. I'm like, dang it, John. Like I hit him because I was like, man, I want to be the Green Ranger, but it was funny. It was funny to say the least. So let me go back to some other pictures here because I skipped. So when the convention I met Zordon at the first time, this was actually one of the photos I was known for a good while. Shout out to Michael Mack Photography. So it's funny, this picture was actually taken in a bush. You would have never known if I hadn't told you that, but it was taken in a bush. And see, I should have had the lights going on there, but yeah, it was really cool. Like, I've always had, and I've mentioned this before, like in posts and streams and stuff. Like I've always had body image issues. Especially being picked on when I was growing up. But this was like the first time like I saw a picture of myself and I was like, wow, that does not look like me, in a good way. So this was like really, really cool. And that's hard to think too. That was 7 years ago. That's what's even crazier. Here's another picture of me, Joe, and another friend of mine, Joseph, as the Red Ranger, and we're kind of doing like a 3-way battle here, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, this was I loved about going to conventions. And here's me having like, this is so silly and stupid, but I'm gonna play it anyway. I don't think you guys can, probably won't be able to. Wait, will you guys be able to hear it? Oh, you can. So here's me and Joe freaking dueling as Green Rangers. We're just like having like two grown guys having a fun time. So, and there's Wario in the background. Wario went walking around in the background. So, but yeah, that was like like it was just one of those moments we just kind of bonded over it, which was really, really cool. So yeah. So speaking of meeting other Rangers, so like I'm trying to think how many Rangers did I meet that year? Because there was David, Walter, Steve, Jason, Kat. Zordon, I guess I would kind of throw that in there. Yeah, there was like 6 people I met that year, which was crazy. Like I was working overtime and whatever little I could live out these childhood dreams. So like whatever I could do, I was doing it. So, so here's me and Kat. She was the second Pink Ranger from season 3. So she was super, super nice. Real sweetheart too. Probably one of the nicest encounters I've had with any Ranger actor or actress, I should say. So she's super sweet. Loves her fans. If you get a chance to meet her, I definitely do so. So during that time when I was really getting to the Green Ranger, you'll see me here in my suit, kind of I was in my ninjetti. But you'll see a picture of me in the suit, like in another picture. I was also joining my friend's group called the Texas Power Rangers, which was pretty cool at the time. We would just kind of like go to conventions and meet up and like squad up together. A lot of fun, to say the least. It's pretty cool, like especially being part of like a huge group like that. As you can see, we like had a plethora of Rangers here. Yeah, some of these guys I still keep in contact with. There's a few others I haven't been able to keep in touch with, which is unfortunate. I should definitely reach out to them. But yeah, super cool group. That's the same convention I met Kat. So that brings us to 2016, which I think should be able to there's a few pictures. There's a picture I'll have to go back to here in a second, but I'll be able to know when. So this was part of that same group. It was really, really cool. We were able to just to hang out, and this was back at Victoria Comic Con, and I'll have to talk about this helmet later on. This was like my newest helmet at the time. The first helmet I got from my friend Joe, I actually converted into a battle damage helmet, which is going to be part of my next JDF story that I'll talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, this was a fun time, like a lot of fun times. It's crazy that it's been so many years now. This was like 6 years ago, almost 7. Definitely one of the best times of my life. That convention, I got to meet Karen Ashley, who was Aisha, the second Yellow Ranger. Super nice, really cool. Was able to as you see here, I had like the custom Ninjetti coins too. Not only that, I also got to meet the original Red Ranger, Austin St. John. He was really, really cool too. I don't have video of it, but I also got him to play the Super Nintendo Power Rangers game because he had never played it before. So he was really cool, and he thought it was pretty cool that like they had made a game because he had never played it. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, you might be able to see my helmet. Okay, yeah, so that's the battle damage helmet. Funny enough, I actually met a guy who was walking around as White Ninja. He also had his helmet. So a lot of them down to earth. Yes, what's up, Forze? So yeah, this was Space City Comic Con 2016. So the following year, and Jason was back as a guest. I was also able to meet Steve again, and got a. Oh, let's not let me. Okay, let me just have to reopen this. Was able to meet Steve again too. This time in my upgraded suit. So this was like a year and a half later. We actually even got the lights going. Oh, I never noticed that. That's really cool. So before I get to the next picture, is gonna be me and Jason, but I got to talk about this convention too. So I was able to come to this convention on Sunday, Memorial Day weekend, I believe. And it's a shame that this was this convention's last year. The owner was actually screwing over a lot of celebrities. I wish I could pull the article. I know there's a lot of Sons of Anarchy. A few of them walked out because he tried to skimp out on deposit and like appearance fees that these celebrities had demanded. So it was pretty bad. A lot of them, unless they had their own payment processors, a lot of them were only taking cash only. So that brings me to this picture, which you guys have probably seen by now. It's a thumbnail. Not only that, I've talked about it on Instagram and Facebook. So to give you guys like an idea of how popular Jason was at conventions, if you had never met him or if you've never gone to one or saw one where he was at, I got in line an hour before his autograph stuff signed, and there were at least, I'm trying to think the exact number. I don't exaggerate here either, but I want to say somewhere between 20 to 40 people in front of me when I got in line, an hour before he came out to take pictures and sign autographs. And so as I mentioned before, he, a lot of the celebrities were getting screwed over. I got to the front of the line, and so you talk to their handler first, and then you talk to the celebrity. I talked to the guy, and I was, hey, how much is it? And he told me the price. It was like $30-$40, something like that. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, here's my card. He's like, oh, we're only taking cash. And I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, sorry. He's like, we just changed it. We're only taking cash. My heart sank. Like, I was just like, I was like, okay. I was like, well, because like I'm just like, man, I had been waiting for an hour, and like I was already kind of like near the front of the line, and Like it was, I was about to be like, just like it sucked a lot, and I was like, okay, I was like, well, let me step out of line because I don't want to hold it. He's like, no, well, I was like, just talk to him, see what he says. And so I move over to Jason, and he's like, hey man, how's it going? He's like, what do you need me to sign? I was like, hey, the guy told me you guys were doing cash only. He wanted me to talk to you. Like, I don't mind paying, for the picture and whatnot. But I just wanted a picture with you more for side by side. He's like, dude, I got you. Like, don't worry, man. You're covered. And I'm like, no. I was like, no. He's like, come on, man. Like, you're never going to get another opportunity. Like, what do you want me to sign? And that's when I had the helmet with me, which is right here. I had basically, it was like a battle damaged helmet that a concept I did at the time. And he signed it. Be kind of hard to see, but yeah, it's like right here. Signed it for free. He not only signed it for free, we took this picture together for free. He's like, come on, man, I got you. Let's do it. Grab my morpher off the table, grabbed mine. The rest is history. A lot of people, depending on who you talk to, a lot of people will say they've had either a good or bad experience with Jason David Frank. To me, that day told me everything I needed to know about him. To have not charged me anything, knowing he was getting screwed over by the convention, says a lot. Like, there's not much more I can say about that. Like, I can't tell you how much that moment meant to me. It still does means a lot to me to this day. He proved to me that day that superheroes really do exist. Some people say don't meet your heroes. I think some people say that because a lot of people have, when you look up to somebody and like whether it's a celebrity or influencer or what have you, a lot of people put them on these pedestals and forget that they're human. So when they make a mistake or something like that, they hold them high and they forget, that they're human. Like, we're all human. Yeah, and Forza was there with me when this happened. So he's my mod, my friend John I was talking about earlier. He was not only like that with me, but with other people I've known too that have had the chance to meet him. Super cool, man. Like, he was Tommy Oliver, and that's why it hurts that we've lost him. He was Tommy Oliver. Like, he made that role. He was that role. Like, William Zabka's Johnny Lawrence. Like, Pat Morita was Mr. Miyagi. Jason David Frank was Tommy Oliver. He was real. I seen him interact with adults that freaked out over him. I've seen him interact with kids that freaked out over him. He was cool, man. And it's very sad that he's no longer with us. I don't know what else I could put into words about this guy. He like just from that action alone told me everything, and that's like I was also doing a little bit better compared to the year before, financially. And, to be honest, maybe I didn't have any business going to the convention. I was able to afford it. Like, I was able to get money to it. Like, my bills were, it's not like I didn't pay my bills and went to the convention. Like, my bills were paid. I always take care of that first. Pay the bills first and then do whatever with my money afterwards. Just the fact that he did that for me. I mean, that's like a tank of gas, bro. 2 tanks of gas that he gave back to me, or like groceries or whatever I needed to, spend money on. It's crazy, man. This was 6 years ago, and this still still hits pretty hard to this day. I'm gonna catch up on some comments real quick. Hi Melissa, welcome in. Yeah, I was really sad when I heard. Every time I watch Power Rangers, yep, same. Massive respect, exactly. Forze, I was wondering if you still had that helmet. Yep, I still have it. Going on to send my stuff away later as well. Grab a photo with me for no charge. So energetic. Christopher, I signed up for Kimpo after that Green Ranger arc. So sick. Yeah, I had a chance to actually watch Green with Evil today too. Yeah, like this guy was Tommy Oliver. Like, there's no question about it. He was real, about as real as it could get. I'm sorry, I'm seeing this, Mr. Earth Evil. Thank you for subscribing. I thought my alerts were still. Oh, that's right. In this scene, my alerts are not here. I gotta fix that. I wouldn't have gone if I didn't win that. Yeah, exactly, man. Z Rangers number 16 after Jetman. Gotcha. Thanks, man. Yeah, like, damn, dude. He even also, I didn't grab the screenshot, but I know it's still on his Instagram profile. He actually took a picture of my helmet and posted it too, which was also really, really cool. Yeah. Okay, here's another fun picture. My friend Richard I met that day. Oh, hold on. I probably got to zoom out. He was wearing Shield 2 and also had a Dragon Dagger and whatnot. And I had my custom Green Ranger blaster. So we were kind of hanging around the convention. So that was like another cool photo that we got. I'm going to skip around to a picture because, like I said, some of these pictures are out of order. This is probably the last couple times I'll have to skip around. So here's me with the full suit. And my friend Michelle Zarita, who I had met the year prior. This was probably one of my favorite pictures as well, because there was a time where I was the evil Green Ranger. Yeah, this was really cool. This was at A-Kon 2016. This was like a week or so after I met Jason David Frank. So, timestamp the shoot. yeah. That was also when I had finally got the new suit as well too, because of my old one was kind of like not like, I wanted to be slightly more authentic. The helmet was the only thing I didn't get a chance to do, or never got to do, unfortunately. So, to match like the Japanese, because that's basically what I was trying to go for, was matching the Japanese colors and stuff. So, yeah, that picture was like really, really fun. So, later that year, I met Johnny Young Bosch, my twin, as everybody likes to say. Decide for yourself if you think I look like him. That's up to you. That's when I had got the Black and Jetty done and whatnot. And we had the lights going too. Nice. It's the frog coin, the mastodon coin. Johnny was really cool, kind of quiet, but he was really cool, really nice. So I was able to meet him. So at that point, I had met pretty much everybody but one person, who's conspicuously absent outside of Trini, of course. Rest in peace. Which I'll talk about here in this next con. These guys, oh man, I wish I would have gotten these guys' Instagram handles. Like, so the funny story about this weekend, this was also in 2016. This was in October. It was Alamo City Comic Con. I had broken up with my then girlfriend at the time. I was having a really rough time. I was trying to do what I could to meet the last Ranger I needed to meet and have a good time. But I was doing my best to shake things off. But I saw these guys, and holy hell, man, they made my day. Like, that perfect bulk and skull. I really wish I knew who these guys were. I would have got their handles. Because right after this, and I didn't get a picture of it with my phone. That's why I should have asked them. But I was like, what, I'll see them around later. And then, of course, that later never came. For the next picture, they're like, "Hey, we got one. We got another picture we'll do." And what happened was, they asked me to duck. So basically, the picture that they looked like was they were pieing themselves. Hey Joe, what's going on, man? So like, hey, duck. So I ducked like this, and I don't have a copy of the picture. I just remember what happened. They basically did the pie to each other. They didn't really pie themselves, but it was pretty funny. Speaking of which, guys, this was my friend Joe I was talking about earlier when I was showing the pictures. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten to the Green Ranger stuff. So yeah, thanks again, Joe. As always tell you a million times. He gave so much life to the character. With him gone, it feels like Tommy's gone. Yes, agreed. I remember you paying for my meal that day because I decided to get an autograph. I still appreciate it. Dude, I don't even remember that, but hey, you're welcome. It's all good. So I was not only that, I met another rare cosplay that you never ever see. Dulcia from the first Power Rangers movie. And of course, I met another green, and then also Billy here. So yeah, it was like a lot of Power Rangers showing. You'll see why. Because I had one Ranger left to meet, and that was Kimberly. They're seeing my helmets there too, and then my morphers and whatnot. So the guy over here trying to duck out of the way of the picture. This was actually her first time doing conventions in so many years, and her first convention in Texas. Super nice, super sweet. Yeah, it was surreal. I was glad I was able to get this because like after that I was still kind of bummed, but yeah, it was pretty dope. And I also found a Rita there too, which was hold on, let me change pictures here. Stupid thing. Sorry. Joe, I'm gonna have to show you this video while you're still here. Brother, you inspire me more. Hey, thank you, man. You inspire me too. So yeah, here's the Rita that I found. And yeah, this was pretty fun. Yeah, she had a really good Rita. It was really, really fun seeing her there. Because you don't ever see Ritas that often. So Joe, I'm gonna play this video, Joe. If you're still here, let me know what you think of this. I was playing this earlier. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'll show you some other pictures here too, Joe, since you hadn't seen. So of course I had this one too. I was talking about earlier, and I was talking about the history of this in Jetty. Amy was very nice to meet at Tampa Bay. Yeah, dude, she was really sweet. I felt bad for her because I know the reason why she stopped doing conventions in the first place, because she was, she had like a lot of fans that were very very like crazy and what. I was sort of yeah, dude, I could tell, man. That was fun though. That was a fun time. And then so I had this picture up. And then, of course, we had this one as well, where you were doing the morph and whatnot. So, and then did I have another one of us? I did show the other one too with JDF. I was talking about that picture earlier. That one was like really, really cool. Yeah, dude, you could tell, man, I was so nervous. I was trying to like be so cool, dude, because like Tommy was standing right next to me. So I met Kimberly, and I'm also glad you're here, Joe, because I have some other pictures and stuff to show. So this was actually near the end of me getting out of like the Ranger cosplay. My other friend Tracy at the time, I think this was Tracy or Joseph, I can't remember. Actually, it might have been Joseph. But also I remember I was hanging around with Tracy too, who was also the Red Ranger. So we did this little picture where the power transfer. Remember this blew up on Instagram at the time too. It was like 2,000 likes at the time. It was nuts. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So it was like the power transfer. So the coin incident. Oh yeah, that's what I'm about to talk about. Yep. I'm about to talk about. I was kind of just going the chronological order of everything. So, I think I have the video of the coin incident. I have 4 different videos here, so we'll see. I'm pretty sure it's in one of them. So, we finally, one of the things we had done when Joe and Abby were making Ninjetti suits at the time, we were wanting to get a big group together of like all 7 of us. So of course, there's Joe, there's me, there's Abby, there's my friend Sadiq, and there's my friend Crit, and our other friend Whitney, and Joseph, who was the Red Ranger in the other picture. So we finally we did like a quick photo shoot. I wish I had brought more of those pictures. I have to find them still. I know I have access to them somewhere. But we actually did a morphine video, which you'll see here in a second. But this was cool. Like it was so cool. Like I gotta find the picture of us all together too. That was a photo of the if I remember, even my Green Ranger morpher was yeah. Okay, so let me. Is this the next pic? Here's one of them.
White Ranger power. Black Ranger.
I think this was us trying to do it all together. This might have been when we done it right. I can't remember. We're about to find out.
1, 2, 3. It's morphin' time. Blue Ranger power. White Ranger power. Black Ranger power.
Pink Ranger power!
Blue Ranger power.
Yellow Ranger power!
Red Ranger power.
That might have been one we did right. What was this one?
Why don't I?
No. Okay. This is where the coin fell out. I gotta skip forward because I say some language in here. Well, because well, it's not monetized. Actually, doesn't matter.
Quiet!
So it's me yelling at Forze over here.
It's morphin' time. Green Ranger power. White Ranger power. Black Ranger power.
Pink Ranger power!
Blue Ranger power.
Yellow Ranger power!
Red Ranger power.
Yeah. I think somebody was cussing because I had said that something. Oh my god, this was funny. Can I?
It's morphin' time. Green Ranger power. White Ranger power. Black Ranger power.
Pink Ranger power!
Joe's face.
Red Ranger power.
Oh my god, yeah, that was funny. Okay, so what was this one? Is it the same? It's not the same. It's this different file name. Now we're about to see.
It's morphin'.
Oh, just hold on. This popped up in the wrong window. Sorry.
It's morphin' time. Green Ranger power. White Ranger power. Black Ranger power.
Pink Ranger power!
Blue Ranger power.
Yellow Ranger power!
Red Ranger power.
Oh, that's what happened. She kind of went a little too slow. The quarantine was so sad. Yeah. So was this the final one then?
It's morphin' time. Green Ranger power. White Ranger power. Black Ranger power.
Pink Ranger power!
Blue Ranger power.
Yellow Ranger power!
Red Ranger power.
Yeah, that's the one we went with. I remember now. That one blew up too. Holy crap. I remember that one blowing up on Instagram, and when I did have a TikTok, I was kind of like reposting old videos, so I'll play it one more time.
It's morphin' time. Green Ranger power. White Ranger power. Black Ranger power.
Pink Ranger power!
Blue Ranger power.
Yellow Ranger power!
Red Ranger power.
So yeah, so that was a lot of fun. We're kind of coming to the last pictures, and I'll start sharing some props that I still have to kind of talk about. So this was the last time I wore the suit at a convention before I sold it the following year. This was Anime Central in Chicago, where they had like a small Rangers meetup, so I got to take a picture with these guys. This was a lot of fun. This was pretty dope. I'm excited to be going back to the convention in May. Also get some Chicago pizza. It was a lot of fun. My first out-of-state convention ever by myself. So it was pretty cool. And I gotta share this story too, because this is something that happened at that convention from my friend Alicia. So I'm just gonna read what it kind of says here. So this was one of my favorite moments of Ace in 2017. Tommy Oliver was my very first crush ever. No joke. I grew up watching MMPR, and when he joined, I knew I liked boys. I had 2 cats I named Tommy and a dog named Oliver, if that says anything. Anyway, Roy, this is my friend Alicia and her husband Roy, where I just hanging out in the con and I feel a tap on my shoulder. I turn around and it's the Green Ranger. He held out his hand. I thought he wanted my turnip I was holding, so I handed it to him. He handed it to Roy, grabbed my hand, and took me away. I remember this. I just turned around and waved at Roy. That seriously made my day. Then Sunday, as soon as we walked into the con, I saw a guy dressed up as the Black Ninjetti. Ninjetti were my favorite of the costumes. He even looks like Adam. So I got Roy to take a photo of me with him because fangirl. Turns out it's the same guy. What are the chances? So yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun meeting friends in the checkout. And then she tagged me this picture today because this was 5 years ago. She's like, "You're the closest JDF I'll ever get, so thank you for this memory." And that really kind of really tugged at my heartstrings because I knew if JDF was still here, he would say that he would like, all of Green Ranger cosplayers, White Ranger cosplayers, Red Turbo cosplayers, Red Zeo cosplayers to carry on, Tommy Oliver's legacy as far as, with the great power, all things are possible. It was crazy. And like, I obviously like I cosplayed as the Green Ranger because that was somebody I looked up to and somebody I wanted to be like when I was a kid. And so to have made an impact on somebody like that, it's crazy, man. That's why you got to be kind to people because you never know. Like, you never know what that person's going through or what that person's dealing with. You might just make their day. So yeah, that I'm gonna leave this photo of JDF up, and I can't talk. Of JDF and I'm gonna leave this photo up, and I'm gonna share some stuff I got with you. So I showed you the helmet. This is gonna be a pain in the butt to get down, but it's worth it. I mean, pain in the butt because of how awkward it is, like right here. But nothing falls out. Come on, waiter hand. Okay. So let me zoom myself in real quick. So these are the morphers, as you kind of seen in various photos that I still have. I'm going to try to open, along with the Cobra Kai 3 booklet. Okay, I'm going to have to set this down. There we go. I've kind of kept these here this whole time. This was one thing I had always wanted when I was a kid, was a morpher, and then I never got one until I was 25. I think this still works. You might be able to have heard that. Let me try it again. So that was like the 5 Rangers version, and then of course I had Tommy's, which is this one I bought myself. Oh, the battery's dead on this one. Yeah, this one needs battery. This one has been kind of manhandled, though, I'm not gonna lie. This one I did buy, though, and I hadn't really used in a while, so that might be why. That's probably how this custom morpher is gonna be like too. Yeah, same thing. Just the batteries are probably gone. But you can kind of see this one's the custom one I was talking about. You can kind of see the different lights. So yeah, I have those still. I also have. Put this up first. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So, any of us that have grown up in the 90s, make sure they aren't leaking. Oh yeah, that's true. You know what? I didn't see anything in here. Like, I would have seen it through the display case, but I'm gonna have to keep that as well. I need to open these up. That's also, that is a good call. All right, let me put this up real quick. So, anybody that grew in the 90s know the action figures that they had too, as you can kind of see here. So this was the one. So Jason, the Red Ranger, was my favorite before Tommy came along. Excuse me. This was the one I had. So you basically like flip their head and they morph. And my brother had Zach. So these aren't the original ones I had back then, or that we had back then, but I managed to track these down when I started like cosplaying Ranger stuff and whatnot. So yeah. Last thing I got, which Joe, thank you again for this, by the way, man. I had visited Joe like the day of JDF's passing, and because he meant a lot to both of us, and we were sharing stories and hanging out and stuff. So as I mentioned before, I had sold my suit, right? Because I was moving to Houston at the time, and I put on some weight through bodybuilding at the time, so my suit didn't fit me anymore, and I also needed the money to pay off some stuff so I could move to Houston with a fresh start. And I sold everything. I sold everything but the morphers and the helmet that I had, and the 2 action figures. So yeah, that meant I lost helmet, suit, boots, everything. Everything was gone except for and also the Jedi costume. I still have those, but so Joe gave me this. A dragon dagger with JDF's signature, because he and I kind of exchanged like some stuff as like for passing stuff. Like I gave Joe one of the custom coins I had, and then he gave me this. So Joe, thank you again, buddy. I'm definitely gonna take good care of this. You deserve it. You helped me in a time of need, and I wouldn't open up. Thank you. Oh, dude, don't. I got it. Like I understood, man. It sucked, dude. It's still, and that's kind of like where I was kind of going with all this, like with Jason's passing. As I said, kind of in the beginning of the stream, we still don't know what the definite answer is, but we've heard the rumors. I obviously can't mention those words on stream again, TOS. What I will say is, especially if you're a guy, reach out to people if you're ever going through a tough time. I know that seems hard, and that seems, like, especially if you don't want to burden anybody or anything like that. I know a lot of people who would care about you would rather listen to you talk than hear a eulogy at your funeral. It's a shame that Jason is no longer here with us. Because he was loved by so many people, man. He was loved by so many people. Like, so many people here in this chat that, like, that we're here just kind of trading stories and stuff like that. I was thankfully fortunate enough to have met him twice and to have had really good interactions with him. I know this kind of sounds hokey to say, but if there was a chance to where I could have helped him, I would have. Obviously that, I didn't know him, but I would have. I would have done anything to have helped him, because, what he did for me this day that we have here on screen was, like, you couldn't put a price on that. Just the fact that he knew he was getting screwed out of money and still didn't charge me anything. There's not a lot of people you could say that about. He was always there for his fans. He never got tired of being told, like, hey, you're my hero or anything like that. It's just like as I've said before, him passing is like losing William Zabka or Ralph Macchio or Pat Morita. Like, that's like, he was like Power Rangers was different. Like I don't know how else to describe it if you weren't familiar with how big. Like I'm trying to think of a craze to compare it to. It was bigger than Cobra Kai at the time. Like that's how crazy it was. Like Cobra Kai has a good following. I'm not trying to compare as far as like in a disrespectful manner, but Power Rangers like took over the world. Like I don't know how else to really put it. Think of I was trying to think of a video game to compare it to in a way that would have some kind of inkling of an idea. If you think about like Among Us, and I know this sounds like kind of a crazy comparison, but if you think about Among Us, of how the concept was so simple, but it was just so catchy, and so everybody was doing it. It was like that in the 90s with Power Rangers, because what they were able to do was they were able to adapt a TV show from Japan, combine it with footage, have like with live action footage from there, mix the two together, and pass it off to kids. Like that's how big it was. Like Jason David Frank was a Ranger for a long time. Like even when he stopped, he still came back, still did guest appearances. He was kept in touch with, like with all his fans through social media, and also at conventions and things like that. Like his lines were always long. Like he was the real deal, legit martial artist, wonderful human being. It was crazy. And as far as they said, I remember during the autograph session, he skipped out on a break, had dinner brought to him, only left to use the bathroom once. Yeah, exactly. Like he was there for the fans. Like he was there. And to think, like you think about the longevity of like his character and his legacy for nearly 30 years. 30 years, to be honest. Yeah, 93 to 2022, almost 30 years. Like, that's huge. That's huge. I don't know. It's really like losing a big brother. That's like the best thing I can compare it to. Losing a big brother you looked up to. Somebody that was cool, somebody you always wanted to hang with, somebody you wanted to be just like. But the only time a person ever truly dies is the last time their name is ever spoken. And I know that he will never be forgotten, so I know he's always going to live on forever in our hearts and our memories. Because Jason really was Tommy Oliver. He was a hero. He was kind. He was patient. He loved it. He loved his fans, and the fans loved him. And as Shin put, he was a teacher. He's going to be sorely missed. And what I am going to say, though, is that like Cobra Kai is part of my strong roots. So is Power Rangers. That's always going to be a part of me. And like even looking back on it now, like that show still kind of holds value. Like especially like just even watching with the kids and watching it now, it's just like he was the real deal. He was legit. If it wasn't for him, there would be no Strife the Warrior. As crazy as that sounds, I would have not met wonderful people like Forze, Joe, Abby, Charles, my current girlfriend. It was because of the Green Ranger that I met. Like not only just going in line to meet him, but cosplaying as the Green Ranger and stuff like that. He like indirectly was responsible for a lot of things in my life, a lot of good things in my life. yeah, like I don't know how else to put it. I don't know if there's anything else I could put in words. Um, he'll be sorely missed. I'm gonna read some comments real quick before I get off here. I think I'll kind of said my piece at this point. Only Ranger teaching and sharing his knowledge of his own martial art. Yeah, exactly. He was a great teacher from the people I know that were fortunate enough to study under him. Tommy Oliver was my Superman. Been watching him since I was 5 years old, and he was my inspiration for martial arts, even growing my hair long. This news broke me. I definitely understand. What I do know is if Jason was still here with us today, I know he would tell us to keep moving forward and to not give up. And please check on your loved ones, but also give yourself time to heal, whether it's with this or whatever you're dealing with. Like, take care of each other, love one another. I know that's what Jason would have wanted. So thank you guys. It felt good kind of talking about this, and I feel a little bit better now. I'm trying to change you, but it seemed passed away. I'm not sure if I'd. Yeah, it's tough, man. All I can say is with the great power, anybody that possesses it, all things are possible.